All right, now we're going to start talking about group insurance. Group insurance is often provided by your employer, and it's a big benefit because if you were to purchase these things on your own, it would be more expensive than the rate your employer is able to get because they have a group of people rather than you just being on your own. And many times the employer pays part of the premium, and again, the premium is the cost you pay to have that insurance. The basic formula to find out how much you are going to pay is to take the annual amount that it costs times your percent, the employee's percent. Because sometimes an employer won't cover all of your insurance, but they'll cover a portion of it. Let's look at an example of this. Sakima Lina is employed at a restaurant. He has family medical coverage through his company's medical plan. The annual cost for the coverage is $5,600. The company pays 45% of the cost. How much does Sakima pay annually for that medical insurance? So notice it's still annually. Everything is annually, so we don't have to do any adjustments there. They told you annual cost, and they want to know how much he pays annually. One thing we do have to adjust for is we want to know how much he pays. And right now we know the percentage that the company pays. So the company pays 45%. What percent is left for him to pay is our first question. Well, percents are out of 100. So if the company is paying 45 and we take 100% minus 45%, we're left with 55%. So Sakima is paying 55% and his company pays the other 45%. So when we find out how much Sakima is paying, we use the 55% that he is paying and we take 55% of 5,600. Don't forget to change your percent to a decimal. Move the decimal 2 places to the left. That gives us 0.55 times 5,600. And we will know that he pays $3,080 annually for the medical coverage for his family. All right, here's Rika Rahim is employed at Damon's Deli. She has medical family coverage also. The annual cost of coverage is $10,700. The company pays 70%. How much is deducted from her weekly paycheck? So there's a couple of things we have to adjust for here. One is that we want to know how much Rika is paying, and the company pays 70%. So we want to know how much she is paying. The other thing is this is an annual amount here, $10,700 annually, and they want to know how much is taken from her weekly paycheck. So when we get to the annual amount, we're going to have to divide that into weeks. Let's start by figuring out what percent she pays. If the company pays 70%, what percent is left for her to pay? Well, 100%, a total, minus 70, leaves us with 30%. So annually, she pays 30% of the $10,700. Let's find out how much that would be. Move the decimal 2 places to the left on your 30%. We're taking 0.3 times 10,700. That gives us $3,210. Okay, but remember this is an annual amount. That's how much she pays in a year. And in this question, they asked how much she pays weekly. So how many weeks are in a year? Well, there's 52. So we take her annual amount of 3,210 and we divide it into 52 equal payments, equal weekly payments, and we find that weekly she pays $267.50. Or excuse me, that is not correct. Let me fix that. That is way too big. That's one way to check yourself, is to go, wow, that would be a lot to pay every week. It's actually $61.73. I apologize for that. Okay, so notice this had several things we had to do. We had to take the company's percentage from 100 to find her percentage of 30%. Then we changed the percent to a decimal and did our multiplication to get our annual amount, and finally divided that by 52 weeks to find out how much she paid each week.